Welcome to Pathlight English. I mean, imagine you're sitting at your desk.
Oh yeah, we've all been there.
You are finally ready to start this really vital project, or maybe you're just about to begin a video call with your family halfway across the world.
You got your coffee.
Exactly. You have your coffee, you are totally ready to go, and then entirely without warning, the screen freezes.
The worst feeling.
It really is. That little loading circle appears and it just keeps spinning, or, your connection drops entirely.
Yeah, and in your native language, you would likely feel just a sudden rush of frustration or panic, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But when you are living or working in an environment where you have to explain this exact problem in a second language.
Oh, the panic immediately doubles.
It doubles. You find yourself staring at the screen thinking, how on earth do I explain what is happening inside this complicated machine when I'm not an engineer?
Right. And that double panic is such a universal experience. I mean, it is exactly what we are going to eliminate in our deep dive today.
I am so glad to hear that.
Yeah, because you do not need to be an engineer. And you certainly do not need to memorize a massive dictionary of highly complicated technical jargon.
Which is a relief, honestly.
It is.
Yeah,
so our core mission for this deep dive is to establish a very simple guiding philosophy for you.
Okay, lay it on us.
When technology fails, using clear, precise English helps you explain three specific things: what happened, what you tried, and what you need.
What happened, what you tried, and what you need.
That is the entire secret. If you can communicate those three elements using just a few natural, highly effective phrases, you can navigate literally any technical failure with total confidence.
I really want to unpack that three-part structure because, honestly, it removes so much of the pressure.
It really does.
What happened, what you tried, what you need. When I was looking over the sources and concepts for today's discussion, a really clear analogy came to my mind.
Oh, yeah. What was it?
Explaining a technology problem to a support worker is actually very similar to visiting a doctor when you were sick.
Oh, I like that. That makes perfect sense.
Right. Because when you walk into a medical clinic, you have to do three basic things to get better. First, you have to point to where it hurts. You describe the pain.
Exactly. What happened?
Right. And second, you have to tell the doctor if you already took any medicine at home before you arrived.
Which is what you tried.
Yes. And third, you ask for a cure, a treatment plan, what you need. If you applied this exact same medical structure to your digital life, it instantly organizes your thoughts.
It keeps you calm.
It really does.
I think the doctor analogy is incredibly useful because it highlights the fundamental logic of troubleshooting.
Yeah, because when you're feeling that language panic, your instinct might be to just throw a lot of random words at the support staff and just
hope they figure it out.
Exactly. Just hope they guess what's wrong.
But when you use this clear three-step structure, you are handing the support agent the exact tools they need to diagnose the digital illness.
Save time.
You save a lot of time, and you immediately sound like a highly competent communicator. So we're going to follow your medical analogy today. We will move carefully through these three steps, starting with how to name the problem clearly.
We need to point to where it hurts.
Exactly. So let's start with the most common pain point almost everyone faces in the modern world.
Let me guess. The internet connection.
You got it. The internet connection. The phrase we want to focus on here is the Wi-Fi keeps cutting out.
The Wi-Fi keeps cutting out.
Yeah, this is a perfect phrase because the meaning is so specific. You use this expression when the internet connection stops again and again.
Okay, so it's not describing a situation where the internet completely disappears and just never comes back.
Right, no. Instead, it describes an intermittent problem. You have a connection, then you lose it, then it returns, then you lose it again.
Which is incredibly frustrating specifically because it's so unpredictable.
Exactly. Now, think about how smoothly this works in context. If you were describing the situation to a colleague, your example sentence might be, the Wi-Fi keeps cutting out during video calls. Let's actually say that together slowly for our B1 and B2 learners to practice their pronunciation.
Sounds good. I'll go first. The Wi-Fi keeps cutting out during video calls.
Perfect. The Wi-Fi keeps cutting out during video calls. It gives them the exact symptom and the timing.
So imagine we're doing a mini dialogue, right? Imagine you are actually on the phone with the support desk.
Oh, let's role play it. I'll be the support agent.
Great.
Hi, thanks for calling support. What seems to be the problem today?
The Wi-Fi keeps cutting out.
See? That tiny exchange gives the agent a wealth of information.
It really does. I don't need a complicated story.
No, not at all. And the reason it gives them so much information is because of the specific grammar we are using here.
Yeah.
Notice the word keeps.
Right. Keeps.
In English, when we use the verb keep, followed immediately by another verb ending in "keem," it means the action happens repeatedly.
It happens over and over.
Right. You are telling the support staff that this is a persistent returning issue, not just a one-time accident.
I have to admit, though, when I am trying to speak a second language and I feel stressed, my first instinct is always to look for the easiest, most basic words.
Sure, that's completely natural.
Like, I might be tempted to just say, the Wi-Fi is bad, or maybe the Wi-Fi stops. Why wouldn't those simpler phrases be enough?
Well, it comes down to precision. If you tell a support agent the Wi-Fi is bad, you are forcing them to guess what bad means.
Oh, I see.
Right. Because does bad mean the web pages load slowly? Does it mean the video quality is blurry? Does it mean the network password isn't working?
It is way too vague.
Exactly. And if you say the Wi-Fi stops, the agent might assume the signal died completely an hour ago and just has not returned at all.
Which is a completely different problem to fix.
Yes. But cutting out is the exact phrasing native tech support workers use and expect. It instantly paints a picture of a signal that is dropping and returning.
You know, the imagery of the phrase cutting out is actually very helpful for remembering it, I think.
How so?
Well, if you imagine that your internet connection is like a physical piece of string connecting your computer to the wall.
Okay, picturing it.
If the signal is cutting out, it is as if someone is standing there with scissors, right? Cutting the string, quickly tying it back together, and then cutting it again.
Oh, I love that.
You get this really vivid feeling of the flow being snapped and temporarily repaired over and over. So when you use this phrase, you give the agent a very precise symptom.
Visualizing the scissors and the string is a fantastic way to anchor that vocabulary in your mind. It perfectly captures that specific type of interruption.
Yeah.
Now, keeping with the first step of our structure, pointing to where it hurts, let's move away from the internet connection and look at what happens when the software itself fails.
Okay, what's the target phrase for that?
The phrase you need here is, the app keeps crashing.
The app keeps crashing.
Yes. The meaning of this phrase is essential for modern technology. You use this when an application on your phone or your computer closes or stops suddenly.
Right, like you might be typing a message or just tapping a button, and without any warning whatsoever, the screen disappears and you were just staring at your home screen.
Exactly. The suddenness of the failure is the defining characteristic here.
So how would we put this into an example sentence?
Well, if you need to explain this to someone, your example sentence would be, the app keeps crashing when I open it.
The app keeps crashing when I open it. Let's do another mini dialogue.
Sure, I'll be the agent again.
Okay.
Can you use the app at all?
Not really. The app keeps crashing.
Perfect. It is direct, and it immediately narrows down the troubleshooting process for the agent.
I want to pause, actually, and explore the imagery of the word crash because, well, it is such a strong, evocative word.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah. Because in everyday, non-technical life, when we hear the word crash, our minds immediately go to a car crash.
Oh,
We picture vehicles colliding. It is a violent, sudden event where all forward momentum comes to an immediate, jarring halt.
that's a great description.
And in the digital world, an app crashing shares that exact same emotional feeling.
It really does.
You are driving along smoothly in your workflow, and then, boom, a sudden, unexpected stop. The software is effectively broken down on the side of the digital road.
That is exactly why this word became the industry standard in tech English. It distinguishes a failure from just a normal operation.
Right.
Because I often hear English learners say, the app closes suddenly.
Yeah, that makes sense logically.
It does. And while a support person will understand what you mean, saying closes can sometimes create ambiguity.
How so?
Well, the agent might wonder if you're accidentally pressing the close button.
Oh, like it's my fault.
Right. But the word crashing implies an accident that was out of your control. It tells the agent that the software failed against your wishes.
That is such an important distinction.
It is. And just like our previous phrase, notice that we are pairing it with the word keeps.
Oh, right. The app keeps crashing.
Exactly. To show that the crash is happening repeatedly.
Okay, so let's review our progress in the doctor analogy.
Let's do it.
We have successfully pointed to where it hurts.
We have?
We have described the specific symptoms by saying the Wi-Fi keeps cutting out. or the app keeps crashing. Now, the doctor's going to ask if we took any medicine before we arrived, right?
Yes, exactly. We need to transition to the second part of our formula.
Saying what you already tried.
This is often the step that people forget when they are stressed, but it is totally crucial.
I can imagine.
Once you state the problem, any support agent is immediately going to ask what steps you have already taken to fix it.
Why is that so important to tell them up front?
Because they need this context so they do not waste your time asking you to repeat actions you have already completed.
Oh, there is absolutely nothing more frustrating than waiting on hold for 20 minutes, finally reaching a human being, and having them tell you to turn your phone off and on again.
When you have already done that 5 times.
Yes, 5 times. By preemptively stating what you tried, you take control of the conversation.
You do. So the key phrase we use to explain our first attempt at a fix is, I tried restarting it.
I tried restarting it.
The meaning here is very straightforward. You use this to explain the most common initial action people take to solve a digital problem.
You turn the power off, and you turned it back on.
Yes. So if you are explaining the current status of the problem, your example sentence might be, I tried restarting it, but the problem is still there.
Let's try that mini dialogue format again. You be the agent.
Okay. Did you try anything before calling?
Yes, I tried restarting it.
Boom. Clear, simple, effective.
But let's talk about the grammar here, actually, because this specific phrasing is a very common trap for English learners.
It really is.
Because I frequently hear people say, I tried to restart it, but our target phrase uses the ing ending. I tried restarting it. Does it actually matter which one you use?
Well, it matters when we look at the subtle nuances of native English.
Okay.
I mean, a support person will understand you either way, but the two phrases actually communicate slightly different situations.
Wait, really? How different?
Well, when you say, I tried to restart it, using the word to before the verb, it often implies that the physical action of restarting was impossible.
Oh.
It sounds as though you pushed the power button, but the button was, physically broken, so the machine refused to turn off. The effort itself failed.
Ah, that is fascinating. So I tried to restart it means the restart itself was the problem.
Exactly.
So what does the ing ending change?
When you use the ing form, saying, I tried restarting it, it means you successfully completed the action.
Okay.
The machine successfully turned off and it successfully turned back on. You performed the restart as an experiment to see if it would cure the underlying glitch.
That distinction makes perfect sense because troubleshooting is entirely based on experimenting, right?
That's all it is.
You are applying different solutions to see which one works. So when you use the ing form, you are essentially telling the agent, I successfully ran the restart experiment, but unfortunately, the results were negative. The original problem is still there.
Perfectly said.
That is a brilliant nuance for B1 and B2 learners to master. It instantly elevates your spoken English from just understandable to highly natural.
It shows a real command of the language. And you can apply this grammar rule to other experiments as well.
Like what?
You might say, I tried updating the app, or I tried plugging it into a different outlet.
Oh, I like that. I tried updating the app.
Exactly. Let's look at another very common experiment people try, which brings us to our next phrase. I checked the settings.
I checked the settings.
Yes. The meaning of this phrase is that you looked at the internal options or the control panels of your device.
Like, you open the menus to see if perhaps a network switch was toggled off, or if airplane mode was accidentally activated.
Right. When you want to convey that you have looked around those internal menus but couldn't find the root cause, your example sentence is, I checked the settings, but I could not find the problem.
Let's do the dialogue.
All right, I'm the agent. Did you check your network settings?
Yes, I checked the settings.
It is so clean.
It is. I really want to emphasize how valuable the simplicity of this phrase is.
Oh, yes, please do.
Because when a language learner is trying to explain a complex tech problem, there's a huge temptation to over-translate.
Right. They want to explain everything.
Exactly. People panic and try to describe every single menu they clicked on. They will say, I went to the home screen and I tapped the little icon that looks like a gear, and then I scrolled down past the Bluetooth options and I click advanced and I looked at the slider bar.
Oh my goodness, yes. It is exhausting for both the speaker and the listener.
It really is.
And it creates unnecessary cognitive load. I mean, the support agent does not need a guided tour of your screen.
No, they don't.
When you simply say, I checked the settings, you provide clean, concise communication. You give the agent all the context they need.
Which is basically, I looked at the basic controls, and nothing seemed obviously wrong or misconfigured to me.
Right. It allows the agent to cross that basic step off their mental checklist and just move on to more advanced solutions.
It is really about trusting the simplicity of the language.
Yeah, it is.
You don't have to prove how hard you looked. You just have to state the action.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Now, this brings us to a major transition in the typical troubleshooting journey.
Yes, it does.
We have talked about the internet cutting out and apps crashing, but there's one specific barrier that completely stops almost everyone at some point, even when the internet is flawless and the hardware is working perfectly.
Oh, yes. We are talking about the digital front door.
The login and password problems.
This is a unique type of frustration because the machine is operating exactly as it was designed to, but you are still entirely locked out of your own information.
It is incredibly stressful. You are staring at a screen that works, but it just refuses to let you inside.
It's maddening.
So what's the phrase we need to explain this barrier?
The phrase is simply, I cannot log in.
I cannot log in.
The meaning is universally understood. You use this phrase when you are unable to access your account. The digital door is locked.
So to explain this to someone, your example sentence is just, I cannot log into my account.
Exactly. And let's role play it. I'm the support worker. What happens when you open the application?
I cannot log in.
Done. They know exactly where you are stuck.
Let's talk about the pronunciation here, though, because this is an area where spoken English can be quite tricky for learners.
Oh, the verb versus noun issue.
Yes, because in writing, we see log in as two separate words when it is an action, a verb.
Right. L-O-G space I-N.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we also have login written as one single word when it is a noun, like referring to your login details or the login screen.
Yes.
If they share the exact same letters, how is a listener supposed to hear the difference, and how should a learner pronounce the difference?
That is a wonderful question, and the answer lies entirely in the rhythm and stress of spoken English.
Okay, teach us.
When native speakers use the verb phrase, the action of entering the account, they put a slightly heavier stress, a little more breath, on the second word.
On the in.
Yes. Listen to the action, I need to log in. The word in is elevated.
I hear that. Log in.
But when we use the noun, the single word referring to the credentials, the stress falls heavily on the first syllable. Listen to the noun. Here is my login.
Oh, wow. Log in. That is a very subtle shift.
Let's put them right next to each other so the contrast is super clear for the listener.
Okay, I will use my login so I can log in.
Exactly. I'll use my login so I can log in.
That's a great practice sentence.
It is. So when you say our target phrase today, I cannot log in, you are focusing on the action that is failing. So the energy naturally pushes toward the end of the phrase.
I cannot log in.
Exactly right. Now, what happens after you try that action?
Usually the screen gives you a reason for the failure.
Right. Which brings us to our next phrase. It says, my password is incorrect.
It says, my password is incorrect. The meaning here is that you are acting as a reporter, right?
Yes, exactly. You are reading the exact error message displayed on your screen directly to the support agent.
So the example sentence is exactly the phrase itself. It says, my password is incorrect.
Yep. Let's do the dialogue. I'm the agent. What message do you see on the screen right now?
It says, my password is incorrect.
Perfect. Now, before we analyze the language here, we absolutely must state a critical security rule.
Yes, please. This is so important.
When you are practicing your English, never use your real passwords in your example sentences.
Never.
And more importantly, if you are speaking to actual tech support on the phone, never give them your password.
Right. A legitimate support agent will never ask you to speak your password out loud.
Never. That is a vital reminder. Keep your credentials private.
Okay, so looking at the language itself, I noticed something very interesting about the phrasing here.
What's that?
We start the sentence with the words, it says. We don't say, my password is wrong. We say, it says my password is incorrect.
Right.
We are personifying the device. We are treating the phone or the computer like it is a living messenger delivering bad news.
We do personify our technology quite often in English. Why do you think that specific distinction, saying it says instead of I am wrong, is so helpful for a language learner in a stressful situation?
Well, I think it is a brilliant psychological defense mechanism.
Oh, say more about that.
When you say my password is wrong, you are internalizing the problem. You are taking the blame and admitting a personal mistake.
You're saying it's your fault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you say it says my password is incorrect, you are completely distancing yourself from the error. You are remaining totally objective.
Wow, that's a really great way to look at it.
Yeah, you are essentially telling the agent, look, I typed what I confidently believe is the correct password, but this machine is currently rejecting it. It removes all the shame from the interaction.
That is a very perceptive analysis. It says, you basically turn the computer into a third party in the room.
Right.
It is no longer a conflict between your memory and the support agent. Instead, it is you and the support agent teaming up to figure out why the computer is behaving badly.
Us against the machine.
Exactly. And this collaborative attitude is the perfect bridge to the final section of our structure.
Let's review where we are.
Okay.
We walked into the digital doctor's office. We pointed to the pain by explaining what happened. The Wi-Fi keeps cutting out, or the app keeps crashing, or we cannot log in.
Check.
Then we stated what we already tried. We tried restarting it, or we checked the settings.
Check.
Now we have reached the final step. We need to actually ask for the cure. We need to ask for support.
Yes, and this brings us to a fantastic phrase. Could you help me troubleshoot this?
Could you help me troubleshoot this?
The meaning of this phrase is that you are making a formal, polite request for assistance in diagnosing and repairing the issue.
So if you are explaining your situation to an agent and you reach the end of your knowledge, your example sentence might simply be, could you help me troubleshoot this?
Yes. And in a back-and-forth dialogue, let's say you tell the agent, I am honestly not sure what is wrong here. They might pause, and you can fill that silence by asking, could you help me troubleshoot this?
I really want to break down this word troubleshoot for our listener.
Let's do it. It's a big word.
It is, because when you look at it written down, it is a long, intimidating compound word.
Good.
But if we separate it into its two halves, it creates a very active, almost fun mental image.
Okay, let's split it.
The first half is trouble, the error, the glitch, the difficulty.
Right.
The second half is shoot, like aiming a camera to capture a photo or aiming an arrow at a target.
Okay, I see where you're going.
When you combine them into troubleshoot, you are painting a picture of actively hunting down the problem and eliminating it. You're going on a digital hunting trip.
I love the hunting analogy. It makes a formal, academic-sounding word feel very approachable.
Doesn't it?
It does. It is also important to note that troubleshoot is the absolute standard vocabulary in the tech support industry.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Many support agents literally have the job title of troubleshooter.
Oh, wow. So when you use this word, you are really speaking their language.
You are. You are showing them that you understand that fixing technology isn't magic. It is a methodical process of searching, testing, and hunting for the root cause. You are inviting them to begin that process with you.
Which leads us perfectly into the final phrase of our deep dive. You have invited them on the hunt, and now you need to ask what supplies they need.
Yes. The phrase is, what information do you need from me?
What information do you need from me?
The meaning is a direct question asking what specific details the support person requires to begin their investigation.
Do they need your account number? The serial number of your laptop, the exact time the app crashed?
Exactly. Your example sentence is exactly the phrase. What information do you need from me?
Let's do the dialogue. You're the agent.
I can certainly help you with that issue.
Great. What information do you need from me?
It just flows so well.
This phrase is so much more than just a request for instructions, though. It holds incredible psychological power during a frustrating phone call.
It really does. Why do you think that is?
Well, when technology breaks and you're struggling to communicate in a second language, it is incredibly easy to accidentally sound angry, demanding, or impatient.
Oh, for sure.
You might just want the problem fixed quickly, but your tone might sound aggressive without you meaning it to. When you pause and ask, what information do you need from me? You instantly reset the entire tone of the conversation.
Yes. You are shifting the dynamic from a demanding customer transaction into a cooperative partnership.
Exactly.
I mean, support workers spend all day talking to people who are angry and unprepared.
I can't even imagine.
So when you use a phrase like this, you are signaling to the agent, I understand that you need clues to solve this mystery, and I am organized and ready to provide those clues.
You instantly become their favorite caller of the day.
You really do. When you build that bridge of empathy and cooperation, the agent will naturally want to work harder and faster to resolve your problem.
Empathy is always the best troubleshooting tool.
It really is.
All right. We have covered a tremendous amount of ground. We have built our three-part framework, what happened, what you tried, what you need, and we have filled it with 8 highly effective phrases.
We have.
Now, we are going to put all of this theory into practice. We are going to run through some real-world translation scenarios.
I love this part. I think framing these as case studies is the best way to solidify the learning.
Okay, so here's how we will do this. I'm going to present a scenario using a clunky phrase. This will represent the natural but slightly awkward way an English learner might try to explain a problem when they're panicking and just translating directly from their native language.
And I want you, the listener, to pause and think. Remember the precise, native-sounding phrases we discussed today.
Then you will provide the better phrase, and we will analyze exactly why this shift in vocabulary makes such a huge difference in clarity.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
Let's begin with scenario 1. Imagine a language learner gets on the phone with their internet provider. They are frustrated and they say, "The internet stops many times."
The internet stops many times.
All right. It is grammatically understandable, but it lacks descriptive power. How do we upgrade this?
The native phrase is, "The Wi-Fi keeps cutting out."
Yes.
The reason this is such a massive upgrade is that stops many times forces the agent to guess the rhythm of the problem. But as we discussed earlier, cutting out provides that exact visual of the signal dropping and returning, like a string being snapped and tied again.
It's so much clearer.
And furthermore, using keeps followed by the ing verb perfectly captures the ongoing continuous frustration of the issue.
Spot on. Let's move to scenario 2. This is a software issue. The stressed learner tells the support desk the app closes suddenly. Again, the agent will likely understand, but it doesn't sound like standard tech vocabulary. What is the better phrasing?
The professional phrasing is, "The app keeps crashing."
The app keeps crashing.
The critical difference here is intent. If you say the app closes, it leaves room for the agent to wonder if you accidentally swiped the screen or pressed a close button by mistake.
Blaming the user.
Right. But crashing brings in that analogy of the car accident. It clearly communicates a violent, unprompted software failure. It removes user error from the equation entirely and blames the software.
That is a great point about removing user error.
It saves so much time.
Let's look at scenario 3. This is the step where you explain the medicine you already took.
The what you tried phase.
Exactly. The learner wants to say they turned it off and on, so they say, "I already make a restart." Or maybe they say, "You already restarted it," mixing up the pronouns. How do we smooth this out into natural English?
The elegant phrase is, "I tried restarting it."
I tried restarting it.
This works beautifully because it frames your action as a scientific experiment. Using tried plus the ing verb restarting shows the agent that you took proactive diagnostic steps before you asked for help.
It sounds infinitely more competent than, "I already make a restart."
It does, and it avoids the slight confusion of saying, "I tried to restart it," which, as we learned, might make the agent think your power button is physically jammed.
Such a great nuance.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to scenario 4. This deals with the digital front door.
The login.
Right. The clunky phrase a learner might use is, "You cannot enter your account." Or maybe, "I cannot enter the app."
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
It sounds a bit like you were trying to walk into a physical building, but a security guard is pushing you away. What is the industry standard way to express this?
The standard phrase is, "I cannot log in."
I cannot log in.
In the digital realm, we do not enter accounts the way we enter physical rooms. Using the specific two-word verb phrase, log in, instantly signals your basic computer literacy to the agent.
And remember the pronunciation.
Oh, yes. Remember to push that slight stress onto the second word when you speak as a verb. I cannot log in.
Perfect. Finally, scenario 5. You've explained the problem and what you tried. Now you need the cure.
The final step.
A panicked learner might simply issue a command saying, "Ask for help," or even worse, "Help me now."
Oh, no. That is a bit harsh.
Right. How do we transform a blunt demand into a professional, cooperative request?
We use the phrase, "Could you help me troubleshoot this?"
Could you help me troubleshoot this?
The transformation here is entirely about tone. Starting with "could you" is a wonderfully polite, soft way to make a request in English. It respects the agent's position.
It really does.
And by using that compound word troubleshoot, you are acknowledging their expertise. You are inviting them to go on that hunt for the problem alongside you, rather than just demanding they wave a magic wand and fix it instantly.
Those scenarios really highlight how just a minor adjustment in your vocabulary choices can completely change the way you are perceived by a native speaker.
It's a game changer.
You move from sounding panicked and demanding to sounding calm, precise, and cooperative.
Exactly.
As we reach the end of our discussion today, I want to do a final calm review of all the language we have unpacked. Listen to the rhythm of these 8 phrases one last time.
I will recap the first 4 phrases, which cover pointing to the pain and stating the medicine you tried. Number 1, the Wi-Fi keeps cutting out.
Number 2.
The app keeps crashing.
Number 3.
I tried restarting it.
Number 4.
I checked the settings.
Okay. And I will read that final 4, which cover the locked digital door and asking for the cure. Number 5. I cannot log in. Number 6. It says my password is incorrect. Number 7. Could you help me troubleshoot this? And number 8. What information do you need from me?
If you take away only one lesson from our entire deep dive today, let it be this. You do not need to be an engineer to communicate clearly.
You really don't.
You just need to practice explaining your technology problems using our simple 3-part framework. What happened, what you tried, and what you need.
It's that simple.
The next time your screen freezes or your connection drops, just take a deep breath. Do not let the double panic take over. Try to form 3 simple sentences in your head using this structure.
If you practice this framework when you are calm, the English will be right there waiting for you when the actual emergency happens.
Preparation truly is the best cure for language anxiety.
It really is. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive today. Remember to subscribe to the channel for more Pathlight English lessons, where we will continue to break down the exact language you need for real-world, high-stress situations.
We have so much more to cover in future deep dives.
We absolutely do. But before we log off, I want to leave you, the listener, with one final thought to ponder.
Ooh, what is it?
Well, earlier, we talked about the word crashing and how we took an old word used for violent car accidents and repurposed it to describe invisible software failures.
Right, the car crash analogy.
It is fascinating to see how technology forces the English language to evolve. I mean, 50 years ago, a crash was only for vehicles. A web was something only a spider could make, and a mouse was just a little animal in the walls.
That is so true.
Today, those words belong entirely to computers. As technology continues to change the way we live at lightning speed, look around your house. What everyday common words do you think will take on completely new, highly technical meanings in the next 50 years?
Oh, that is a great question to leave them with.
Isn't it? Keep listening, keep learning, and we will see you next time.